Like, for instance, like, this is a magazine that came out a couple of weeks ago, and that said the truth about Jen and Barack.
You know, some cheesy tabloid is going to make up a story, and then it's that.
Yeah. Does your
I was not
publicist
mad
ever
at
go,
it.
like...
Michelle Obama just dropped a bombshell about what really happened between Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston, and it's not what anyone expected. For years, whispers and rumors swirled, but now the truth is out, and it's shaking everyone to their core. What could possibly connect the Obamas and Aniston in a way no one saw coming? Tune in as we unravel the shocking revelation that made the White House arrest the former president, missing events and a Hollywood twist. First off, Michelle's noticeable absence from not one but two significant events has left everyone's tongues wagging. Skipping both Jimmy Carter's funeral and Donald Trump's inauguration? That's not exactly a minor scheduling conflict. Barack was front and center at both events, yet Michelle's no-show fueled speculation faster than gasoline on a fire. Sure, the official story hinted at scheduling conflicts, but come on, nobody's buying that. People started whispering, and soon it became a full-blown hurricane of gossip. And then Jennifer Aniston's name got thrown in. Before we delve into this, it's clear that Jennifer Aniston's name isn't just a coincidence, and the truth behind Michelle's absence might be far more explosive than anyone could have predicted. Yep, you read that right, Jennifer Aniston. Apparently, some supermarket tabloid kicked off this whole narrative about Barack and Jennifer having a bit more than a casual friendship. It sounds ridiculous on the surface, right? But here's where it gets sticky. Social media detectives and rumor mills have been dissecting this story like it's the case of the century. And let's be real, people's track record with sniffing out truth through gossip isn't as bad as you'd think. When photos and timelines don't match up, eyebrows start rising. Speaking of photos, let's not ignore that bizarre post from Barack, a picture of him and Michelle sitting at what can only be described as a Beauty and the Beast style table. The internet exploded. Michelle's expression? Let's just say it didn't scream happy couple vibes. And that lighting? Oof. People were quick to point out how the photo seemed off. If this was supposed to shut down the divorce rumors, it did the exact opposite. Instead, it became the poster child for what's really going on here. Even more fuel to the fire? The whispers coming out of Washington, D.C. For over a year, there's been talk of cracks in the Obama marriage, but it's always been shrugged off as hearsay. Now, with Michelle's absence and Jennifer's name floating around, those whispers have turned into shouts. People close to the political and Hollywood scenes are hinting that this isn't just baseless speculation. And if timing is everything, as some insiders suggest, it's all lining up a bit too perfectly. Then there's Jennifer herself. She's kept quiet, which of course just makes people talk even more. It's the classic no-comment move that gets spun into silence speaks volumes. But let's be honest, Jennifer doesn't exactly need more headlines about her personal life. Whether it's fair or not, her name is now glued to this narrative, and people are digging deep to find any shred of evidence that connects her to Barack. And while we're at it, let's not ignore the why now question. Why is all of this blowing up at this moment? Is it some kind of coordinated hit job, or are we genuinely witnessing cracks in one of the most iconic modern couples? The internet has no chill when it comes to piecing together the tiniest clues, from Michelle's body language to Barack's solo appearances. And with every new post, every cryptic comment, the theories just keep piling up. Oh, and don't think Megyn Kelly's comments didn't stir the pot even more. She outright called Michelle's absence proof of trouble in paradise. Sure, it's a bold statement, but it's not like anyone's stepping up to debunk it convincingly. If anything, the lack of strong denials only adds to the chaos. When rumors like these go unchecked, they're like a runaway train, impossible to stop and picking up speed with every mile. But let's not pretend this is just about Michelle skipping a couple of events or Barack being spotted at restaurants alone. People are digging deeper, questioning everything from their joint appearances to their social media posts. Are the "I love you" captions just a front? Are those smiles in public hiding something far more complicated? The narrative practically writes itself, and the public can't look away. Jessica mentioned in a DM that the day before, she heard Jennifer Aniston's inner circle casually talking about Barack. They were apparently sitting with a psychic at some gathering, and Jennifer herself supposedly let it slip. Then came Meghan McCain, throwing more fuel on the fire. She brought a political reporter onto her show who said they'd been hearing about the Obamas heading for a divorce from some serious, well-connected sources. Now let's pause for a second. A psychic, Jennifer Aniston, and Barack Obama all connected in this swirling rumor? It almost sounds too bizarre, but the story doesn't stop there. Meghan McCain, who's pretty plugged into these elite circles, mentioned she's heard similar whispers for a while. Not from gossip sites or tabloids, but from serious journalists who claim they've got credible intel. And these aren't your run-of-the-mill insiders. These are people who actually mingle with the Obamas and their crowd. According to them, Barack and Michelle are living separate lives, and it's been that way for a while. People kept talking, and Michelle's absence raised even more questions, leading to something that made everything even harder to ignore. Whispers of trouble in the Obama household. What really cranked up the speculation? Michelle's absence at key events. She skipped Jimmy Carter's funeral, which got people's eyebrows shooting up. Sure, missing Donald Trump's inauguration was one thing, that's politics. But not showing up to honor Carter? That's a different story. And then there's Barack, who posted a photo of Michelle that some people called odd, to say the least. She's in what looks like sleepwear, no makeup, clearly not a picture she would have signed off on. Did Barack post it without her consent? The internet went into full meltdown mode, questioning whether that post was some kind of subtle signal. Adding more heat, Meghan McCain's guest mentioned how the Obamas haven't been spotted together since Kamala Harris's DNC event. That's right, not since Harris tried to rally her presidential run. And if you're keeping track, that's a long stretch of no joint appearances for a couple as high profile as them. It's not like the Obamas to stay out of the limelight entirely. So what gives? Even Michelle's recent book tour seemed to be more about her doing her own thing rather than anything tied to Barack. Now let's talk about the Jennifer Aniston connection, because that's where the story goes from unusual to downright wild. People are saying that Barack has been hanging out with her circle, which, let's be honest, sounds like it's straight out of a tabloid headline. Still, when these rumors get repeated by reputable sources, you've got to wonder if there's some kernel of truth buried in all the noise. Could this really be happening? Are we looking at a political power couple quietly crumbling behind closed doors? Insiders are now predicting an official announcement might not be far off. They're saying this isn't just a rumor, there's some real weight behind it. Barack and Michelle have always been seen as America's sweethearts, and the thought of them splitting up has people genuinely upset. It's not just gossip, it's hitting a nerve. After all, their marriage has been part of their brand, part of what made them so relatable. If this divorce does happen, it'll send shockwaves through political and social circles alike. What's also stirring the pot is the way Michelle's been focusing on her solo projects. Her speeches, her tours, her books, it all seems very independent, very separate from Barack's own endeavors. Some are speculating that these are subtle signs of a life already split in two. And when you think about how carefully managed the Obamas' public image has always been, it's hard not to read between the lines. Could this be the calm before the storm? The Obama brand has been built on unity, on being a team. Their public persona has always been about partnership and shared goals. But if the rumors are true and this partnership is dissolving, what does that mean for their legacy? It's a question that's leaving a lot of people uneasy. And if the announcement does come, it'll be one of the biggest stories in modern political history. Then there's the question of timing. Why now? Why let these rumors swirl without addressing them head on? Some believe the Obamas are holding off for strategic reasons, trying to figure out how to spin this in a way that minimizes fallout. But as more insiders and journalists come forward with what they know, the pressure to make a statement is mounting. Every day that goes by without clarity just adds more fuel to the fire. People are connecting the dots, or at least trying to. Barack's recent moves, Michelle's absences, the whispers about Jennifer Aniston's circle, it's all creating a picture that's hard to ignore. And while it's easy to dismiss some of this as baseless gossip, the sheer volume of credible voices backing these claims is hard to overlook. This isn't just TMZ or social media chatter. This is coming from people who are in the know, people who have access to the inner workings of these elite circles. Barack Obama showing up alone at Carter's funeral started a whirlwind of whispers about his personal life. People are saying cracks have been showing for years, the Obamas supposedly living separate lives, and now theories are spinning out of control. What's feeding the fire even more? The bizarre idea that Barack would trade Michelle for Jennifer Aniston. It sounds absurd, but social media thrives on these kinds of stories, no matter how wild they get. Now that Jennifer Aniston's name was being talked about, the story took a surprising turn, pulling Hollywood into the middle of it all. Social media can't stop talking about this. Jennifer Aniston's name being dragged into this chaos has just made things even messier. Think about it. Aniston, an actress with decades of Hollywood fame, suddenly being linked to a former president? That's a headline designed to get clicks, but here we are with the internet's imagination running wild. And those memes, they're everywhere, turning something speculative into comedy gold. Yet as funny as some may find it, the bigger question is, why stories like this get so much traction? Are people bored, or is there some deeper fascination with tearing down public figures? Adding fuel to the fire, there's talk about a tragic event involving the Obamas' personal chef, a man who drowned behind their Martha's Vineyard property, with little explanation provided. The lack of clarity has only added to the storm of conspiracy theories. Why was the Secret Service there? Why didn't anyone help? The questions are loud, but the answers remain vague, leaving people's imaginations to fill the gaps. If this had happened under someone like Donald Trump, would the media have let it go so easily? The comparison isn't new, but it keeps resurfacing, raising eyebrows about double standards in coverage. Critics are quick to point out that these controversies feel swept under the rug, as if certain figures are untouchable. If the roles were reversed, if the chef had been linked to another high-profile figure, would the story have lasted longer in headlines? Some believe the media picks and chooses its battles, and this might be one of those cases. But despite the coverage dwindling, independent voices are keeping it alive. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and social media platforms refuse to let the story die, claiming there's more beneath the surface. And let's not forget the apparent leaked DM that allegedly confirms the Obama-Aniston affair. Leaked messages are always tricky to prove, but that hasn't stopped people from dissecting every word. Even Jennifer Aniston's responses have been scrutinized, her publicist denying the rumors while some interpret her casual remarks as hints. It's all speculative, but speculation seems to be enough to keep people hooked. Why does a baseless rumor hold so much weight in today's media landscape? The internet is buzzing, and no one seems to care if the buzz is based on facts. It's more about the drama, the memes, and the endless theories that make people feel like they're uncovering a grand scandal. Whether it's about separate lives, a supposed affair, or the tragic death of a chef, these narratives build a house of cards. And here's the thing. The more people talk about it, the more it becomes real in the public's eyes. Does it matter if there's no solid proof? Apparently not. But let's circle back to that chef's death, which still raises serious questions. How does someone drown in shallow water while Secret Service agents are nearby? It doesn't add up, and that's exactly why people won't stop asking. Was it just an accident, or is there more to the story? Critics argue that if this happened in another administration, it'd still be headline news. Instead, it's fading into obscurity, kept alive only by those who refuse to accept the official narrative. Some are calling this the new normal, a world where scandals are brushed aside unless they fit a certain agenda. People dig through every tweet, every photo, trying to find something that confirms their suspicions. And when Barack Obama posts a picture of Michelle that looks off, the internet jumps on it. She doesn't look the same, they say. What's going on behind the scenes? The speculation is relentless, and the memes are endless. But why do people care so much about the personal lives of public figures? It's not just about Obama or Aniston, it's about the fascination with power and fame. The public loves to see cracks in perfection, especially when it involves people at the top. Is it jealousy, curiosity, or just the need for entertainment? Whatever it is, it's clear these stories aren't going away anytime soon. The chef's death, the supposed affair, the separate lives rumors, all of it creates a storm that keeps feeding itself. The memes and jokes might seem harmless, but they have a way of shaping public opinion. People start to believe there's truth in the jokes, that maybe there's something they're not being told. And when major news outlets don't cover these stories in depth, it only fuels the fire. Why aren't they talking about this, people ask. The absence of coverage is taken as proof that something is being hidden. This is less about Barack Obama or Jennifer Aniston and more about how easily rumors spread in the digital age. A tweet becomes a headline, a meme becomes a belief, and suddenly the lines between fact and fiction blur. Will we ever get clear answers? Or is the speculation itself the real story? Either way, it's a reminder that in today's world, perception often matters more than reality. As everyone kept wondering about the Obamas, looking at other big divorces showed how hard love and fame can really be. Famous divorces that shook the world. Let's dive into the juiciest divorces in the United States, the ones that had everyone talking, debating, and pointing fingers. Starting with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, this split was like a soap opera that never ended. They tied the knot in 2015, but by the next year, things fell apart fast. Heard accused Depp of some pretty serious stuff, which led to endless legal battles and headlines. Depp hit back with a defamation lawsuit, claiming her accusations weren't true and cost him big roles. Their court fights spilled all kinds of personal tea, and the world couldn't get enough. Were they both victims of their own fame, or was one lying through their teeth? Next up, the golden couple, or so we thought, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Together for over a decade with 6 kids, their 2016 split shocked everyone. Jolie cited parenting issues and concerns over Pitt's behavior, which led to a messy custody battle. Throw in disputes over a fancy French winery, and you've got drama fit for a Hollywood script. Were they ever really the picture-perfect family, or was trouble always brewing? Then there's Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. Remember them? Married in 2004, things went south by 2006. The custody fight over their 2 sons was heartbreaking, especially with Spears' personal struggles in the spotlight. Federline gained custody, leaving Britney to face one of the toughest times in her life. Did the media's relentless scrutiny make things worse, or was their relationship doomed from the start? Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale's split was another shocker. After 13 years of marriage, they called it quits in 2016. The big reveal? Rossdale's alleged affair with the family nanny. Fans were stunned, and it was a reminder that even perfect couples can face trust issues. Can any relationship survive when betrayal hits so close to home? Speaking of heartbreak, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's marriage seemed straight out of a movie. Until it wasn't. They got hitched in 1990 after meeting on set and even adopted 2 kids. But by 2001, Cruise filed for divorce, and fans were left wondering what went wrong. Both have since shared how tough that time was, but was their love story doomed from the start? Then there's the blink and you'll miss it marriage of Renee Zellweger and Kenny Chesney. Married in May 2005, their union ended just 4 months later. The word fraud in their annulment papers caused a media frenzy, though they later said it wasn't what people thought. Was it just a case of mismatched expectations or something deeper? And who can forget Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries? Their 72-day marriage in 2011 was all anyone could talk about. Lavish wedding, constant media attention, and then, poof, it was over. People questioned if it was all for show or if the pressures of fame just got to them. Were they ever really in it for the long haul, or was it doomed from day one? Paul McCartney's divorce from Heather Mills was another jaw-dropper. Married in 2002, their split in 2006 became one of the costliest celebrity divorces ever. Mills walked away with a hefty sum, but it was far less than she'd hoped for. Did money ruin their relationship, or was it bound to happen regardless? Mel Gibson's split from Robin Moore after 26 years was another headline grabber. Finalized in 2011, it reportedly cost Gibson a fortune. After such a long marriage, people couldn't help but wonder, how does a relationship fall apart after so many years? Was it fame, fortune, or something else entirely? Then there's Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner's divorce, which felt almost civilized. Married in 2005, they announced their separation in 2015 and finalized things in 2018. Despite everything, they remained committed to co-parenting their 3 kids. Could their amicable split be a blueprint for others, or was it just a rare case of 2 people putting family first? Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson's short-lived marriage also had its moment in the spotlight. They wed in 2008, separated in 2010, and were divorced by 2011. Both later talked about how hard it was to juggle careers and relationships. Is Hollywood the ultimate relationship finisher, or were they simply not meant to be? These divorces might seem like tabloid fodder, but they reveal a lot about love, fame, and the pressures of living in the public eye. What's the real cost of having your personal life on display? And do any of these stories make you think twice about what it takes to maintain a relationship when the whole world is watching? Is Michelle Obama's revelation just an attempt to clear the air, or is there a deeper story between Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston that we're still not seeing? Could this be a case of rumors spiraling out of control, or is there something more hidden beneath the surface? Tell us what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.